This courtroom hearing starts like a routine drug possession case, but within minutes, it turns into something much deeper. A brutal conversation about trust, addiction, family, and the safety of children. A grandmother walks into court hoping to avoid prison time after being caught in a situation involving methamphetamine, probation issues, and a fugitive task force arrest. But what really changes the entire tone of this hearing is when the judge discovers she's been babysitting her infant grandchildren while still dealing with active drug-related problems. Now pay attention, because this judge is not just focused on punishment here, she's focused on risk, and that's what makes this hearing so intense. The defendant keeps insisting she loves her grandchildren. She says she's trying to work, trying to stay stable, and trying to move forward. But the court keeps circling back to one question. Is love enough when children's safety is involved? What's fascinating about this case is how quickly the judge shifts from legal procedure into real-world parenting concerns. We're talking about deferred adjudication, probation conditions, drug testing, treatment programs, but underneath all of that is a much bigger issue. How far should the court go when protecting children from potential danger? And at what point does family loyalty stop being a valid excuse? You can already sense the emotional tension building because the grandmother clearly feels judged and misunderstood. Meanwhile, the judge is trying to make it crystal clear that this isn't personal. It's about responsibility and accountability. But here's where things get complicated. The daughter apparently trusts her mother enough to watch the kids, while the court absolutely does not. And trust me, the moment the judge starts comparing childcare decisions to hiring a stranger with a drug history, the entire courtroom dynamic changes. This becomes less about sympathy and more about consequences. Watch closely, because the judge is about to deliver one of the toughest reality checks you'll hear in a courtroom setting, and it completely reframes the case from that point forward.
These are my grandchildren.
I understand that. Let me ask you something. Do you love your grandchildren?
Of course I love my grandchildren.
A lot?
But my daughter has to
But wait,
provide
let me ask you
meals
this. Do you,
and baby on Mondays and Tuesdays. I have to, or my daughter can't work.
I can't have you watching children. You're charged with the offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1 gram to 4 grams. That's a third-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine.
Yes, ma'am.
And if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 8 years, and there'll be 100 hours of community service, restitution, and a TAP evaluation. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state, and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State, any evidence?
State offers State Exhibit 1 in all attachments.
Any objections?
No objection, no.
All right, you may continue to confer. Ms. Mora. All right, after reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence.
This is actually a critical legal moment that a lot of viewers might overlook. The court is agreeing to deferred adjudication instead of immediately convicting her, and that's a huge break. In Texas, deferred adjudication basically means the judge is giving the defendant an opportunity to avoid a formal conviction if she successfully completes probation and follows every condition ordered by the court. But there's a catch, and it's a serious one. If she violates probation, the judge can come back and impose the full sentence later, which in this case could mean up to 10 years in prison. And notice how carefully the judge is digging into the defendant's other probation case. That's not random small talk. Courts want to know whether someone is already struggling to comply with supervision elsewhere because it helps determine whether they're likely to succeed on another probation term. The defendant keeps sounding uncertain and slightly confused about her own legal situation, and that's never a good sign in front of a judge. At this stage, you can already feel the judge testing credibility. Is this somebody who truly has her life under control, or somebody saying what the court wants to hear? Because in hearings like this, honesty matters almost as much as the original charge itself.
To find you guilty, the court will defer finding of guilt as you have applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, my client tells me she's not going to have anything else to do with drugs and that she's going to do everything this court tells her to do. And she has sat here all morning and seen you saw you sentencing people, well, on deferred.
All right. So what is happening with this case that's out of Fayette County?
Fayette County was, when this case happened, they had arrested me for the Fayette County warrant. I was pulled over and I was put on probation in Fayette County for 8 years, and I switched it over here. This happened whenever I was arrested during the Fayette County warrant. I more or less, they gave me a ticket, and I didn't know if that was what was going on with that. I moved to Chicago. I came back and I had a warrant. I had no idea. And then
So you don't know what's happening with Fayette County?
oh no, I'm on probation with Fayette County.
Oh, counsel, do you want to have a seat?
Through
Again, if you need me to do.
All right, thank you.
I'm on probation with Fayette County through here. I have my officer, what's her name? Louise.
So what's happening with that case? Does she have a warrant for that?
No, I'm
Okay.
good. I'm good. She's gonna actually, my probation officer for now is gonna be my probation officer for here too. They're gonna put it together.
All right, do you have any children?
I do. I have grandchildren too.
All right, what are your children's ages?
26 and 29.
All right. Why the tears? I don't understand.
Yes, I want to take this on for my grandbabies.
Yeah, I mean, you need to do it for yourself.
Well,
Because
yeah,
how old are your grandchildren?
my grandchildren are 1 and 6 months.
All right, so, I mean, you have to do it for yourself. When's the last time you've seen your grandchildren?
Christmas.
If you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be? And before you even say you're going to get drug tested today, so just be honest with me.
And they should be negative.
All right, what do you mean should be?
They're not going to be negative.
When's the last time you used?
It's been a while.
What's a while?
Marijuana wise, I smoked probably about a month and a half ago.
This exchange about drug testing is one of the most revealing parts of the hearing. Listen carefully to the wording. The judge asks a very direct question. If you were drug tested today, what would the results be? And instead of confidently saying negative, the defendant says they should be negative. That tiny hesitation immediately raises concern. In courtroom settings, judges pay close attention to language because hesitation can signal uncertainty, minimization, or incomplete honesty. The defendant admits to marijuana use about a month and a half earlier, and while she tries to downplay it, the court is clearly looking at the bigger picture. This isn't just about whether she smoked marijuana. It's about whether she's truly separated herself from risky behavior while already on probation and facing another serious drug-related case. And then comes the emotional pivot. Employment, grandchildren, tears, and wanting to take this on for family. That's where this hearing starts becoming emotionally complicated, because on one hand, you see someone trying to present herself as a working grandmother holding things together. On the other hand, the court sees someone still surrounded by instability. Here's the question for everyone watching. Should courts prioritize rehabilitation and family unity in situations like this, or should they focus entirely on caution when children are involved? Because the judge is about to make it very clear where she stands.
And it was very little. And besides that, I should be okay. It's out in 30 days. So,
Are you employed?
yes.
What do you do?
I'm doing punch out and clean up for a construction company, CNF Construction.
All right. Any questions?
No, yeah.
Okay, this is what the court is going to do. It's going to be 8 years deferred adjudication. $250 fine. That will be probated. I'm going to want a TAP evaluation. Follow TAP results. Recommendation. If they're asking for inpatient treatment, we're going to start with intensive outpatient treatment. If they're asking for outpatient treatment, we're still going to start with intensive outpatient treatment. 100 hours of community service restitution. Proof of employment within 30 days. There should be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. There should be no unsupervised contact with minors. I'm going to order parenting classes. Once she completes the parenting classes and the 100 hours of community service, restitution will be deemed satisfied. I'm assuming you want, yes.
About the parenting classes and
Yes.
no unsupervised visits with minors. I watch my grandbaby on Mondays and Tuesdays. I have to, or my daughter can't work.
I can't have you watching children until your life is in order, and I deem that it's in order.
Well, these are my grandchildren.
I understand that. Let me ask you something. Do you love your grandchildren?
Of course, I love my grandchildren.
A lot?
But my daughter has to
But wait,
provide
let me ask you
bills.
this. Do you love your grandchildren?
Yes,
Do you love them a lot?
yes.
All right. So would you just let anybody take care of them?
No, but I'm the only venue she
Well, no,
has
no.
right now.
My question is, would you just let anybody take care of them?
Of course not.
All right. So let's say I come to your house and you want me to take care of your grandchildren because something came up, you can't do it, and your grandchildren love me. I got great references, right? And you watch me, you have cameras, you say, Stephanie, we want you. And I say, great. And then I tell you, there's something I didn't tell you. I was out with a fugitive task force and they came to a hotel and arrested me and there was meth everywhere.
Well, my daughter understands this.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing. Sometimes family members understand things, and I don't know why people do this with children. With children, people don't plan to have children. They have no idea, okay, I need daycare because I got to work, or either I'm not going to work. So how am I going to support my children? And guess what they end up doing? They end up getting whoever they can get to babysit their children. They're like, oh, it's a relative. I know she's used drugs in the past. I know it was meth. I know it was marijuana. I know she's on probation for that. I know a fugitive task force just picked her up. But the answer is no, I can't have that because you know what? I guarantee you, God forbid something happens to your grandchildren while they're in your care. And you know what the first question is going to be asked?
This is the exact moment where the judge stops speaking like a neutral referee and starts speaking like someone trying to prevent a future tragedy. And whether viewers agree with her or not, you can tell she genuinely believes she's protecting those children. The judge's argument is actually pretty straightforward. Love alone does not automatically make someone a safe caregiver. She's pointing out that families often normalize dangerous situations because they're emotionally attached to the person involved. And honestly, that's a conversation a lot of people avoid having. The court is essentially saying, I understand your family trusts you, but the legal system has to look at risk differently. What makes this powerful is how specific the judge becomes. She talks about what would happen if something went wrong while the children were in the grandmother's care. Suddenly, the issue is no longer hypothetical. The judge is thinking ahead to worst-case scenarios, and judges often do that because if harm occurs after a warning sign was ignored, everyone involved gets scrutinized. At the same time, you can hear the grandmother becoming desperate. She keeps returning to the same emotional point. These are my grandchildren. To her, family connection should matter most. To the judge, safety and stability come first. That clash of values is what makes this hearing so emotionally charged. And honestly, this is the kind of courtroom moment that divides audiences. Some people will think the judge is being too harsh. Others will say she's being responsible. But one thing is undeniable. The judge is drawing a very firm line about children and substance abuse issues.
Well, what judge would allow her, not even done treatment, to babysit a 1-year-old and a 6-month-old?
Ma'am.
And I know how 1-year-olds and 6-month-olds are. I have a niece who's 2. I love her. She is so demanding, but the answer is no. Those are my rules. All right, parenting classes. Once you started on parenting classes, once you started your treatment, then the court will reconsider. But for now, there's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. If you have unsupervised contact with minors, what's going to end up happening is a motion to revoke is going to be filed, and you're looking at 10 years in the prison. There's going to be field visit, random 1 time per month.
What?
There is to be random UAs or either a patch. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person. Probation, is there anything else you need?
No, Your Honor.
All right, anything else you need from the court?
No.
All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Can you pass that to me? Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Uh-huh.
Right. And we can go off the record. I know you think I'm being harsh. I'm not listening, but I am listening.
Just to grab
But-
everything.
Yeah. But part of my job is to protect the community. And sometimes people don't consider children part of the community. Many times people consider children as property. Like I tell them what to do and that's what they need to do. But a 1-year-old and a 6-month-old can't take care of themselves. You can't just put them at Travis Park and say, I've had you, good luck to you. And for some reason, I don't know what's wrong with people. They do not put children first. It's just sort of like a handbag or something.
Yeah.
Let me dress this child up. Look, they're so pretty. And then they're on their own.
Yeah.
But what I can tell you is, when I would have clients that I've represented on CPS sites, moms who had drug issues, I would always tell them, this is where you are at the point in your life now. We're trying to get you better and get you over this so you can get your children back. So where you are at the point in your life is the fugitive task force had to go pick you up at a hotel. And when they go to the hotel, there's meth and everything. That's a problem, right?
That is
So,
a problem then.
yeah. So you have to prove to me that you should be in the children's lives unsupervised. If you can prove that to me, I'll allow it to happen.
By the end of this hearing, the judge makes her position crystal clear. The defendant is getting another chance, but it comes with strict conditions and almost zero room for mistakes. Instead of prison, the court grants deferred adjudication, orders intensive treatment recommendations, parenting classes, community service, drug monitoring, and bans unsupervised contact with minors until the defendant can prove stability and progress. Legally, this case shows how courts balance rehabilitation with public safety. The judge clearly believes recovery is possible, but she also believes trust has to be earned, especially when children are involved. Emotionally, though, this hearing hits harder than a typical probation case because it forces everyone to confront uncomfortable questions about addiction, family loyalty, accountability, and what it truly means to protect children. And whether you agree with the judge's tough approach or think the grandmother deserved more compassion, this case definitely leaves an impression. The courtroom wasn't just deciding punishment here, it was deciding boundaries, responsibility, and risk. If you found this case as shocking as we did, make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns.
All right. Thank you.